What's up, AtoZSports on a Friday? Let's have a fun show to wrap up this week. We have Titans hosting the Chiefs on Sunday in Nissan Stadium. Easton, you will be in the stadium. You're counting down your final reasons to go to that stadium.
God bless.
You might have under 10 more appearances at Nissan Stadium.
I think I do have under 10 more appearances at Nissan Stadium. I've been going my entire life. I've been there probably 100 plus times, and it's been a while since I felt like I really needed to go back. You know, it's disgusting slop. It's our slop, but I'm not gonna miss it.
Of course, but the new stadium is rapidly growing, and they're putting like outside stuff on it, like glass and all that stuff. So
it's gonna look like finished from the outside way early compared to when it's actually done. Like it's going to look like a done building pretty soon.
Right. That's right. So you'll get to get your eyes on that. But also, did we have our eyes last night on the Titans' future head coach? Maybe
glued.
I don't know, but there is a lot of competition maybe for the two guys that were having a flat out duel on Thursday Night Football, and maybe what everybody else and their mother is calling the game of the year already in the NFL. It was phenomenal. We'll discuss that epic Seahawks win over the Rams in overtime, where something happened for the first time in NFL history. And Easton, I have a great question for the two of us, where we are typically on the opposite side of the 2-point conversion conversation. But I actually think I have something that we probably don't. We probably don't, because we'll get to the two hot Titans coaching candidates that have multiple suitors calling them in just a matter of weeks, where the Titans coaching opening ranks among the current open ones and the potential open NFL head coaching jobs. We've got Bill Barnwell of ESPN.com doing some pretty interesting listing and ranking of 8 jobs. There are only 2 jobs that are currently open, but he has 6 other jobs that are potentially opening. Where do the Titans land in that one? And then, of course, the Friday, which means our NFL draft order rooting guide for Week 16 for the Tennessee Titans. We'll discuss that and a lot more good news. If you have good news, get ready for it at the end of the show for the chat. Ann is back. Did not need you. Actually, we did need you on trivia because we had an older lady in the mashup that we missed yesterday. And I don't know what her age demo range is, but we couldn't.
I think she's all knowing. I don't know. I wouldn't question her abilities.
But Easton, what's up? Welcome in. Let's get this thing off and rolling.
Hello, what's up? Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Looking forward to ending this week on a high note. Need y'all to like the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Do us that solid. It's a Friday. Be a friend. Hit that like button on Facebook and on YouTube. And then jump into the comments with Ann and Rooney and Steven and American Toff and DeChristofel and Bork and Gord. Gord's a new one. Hello, Gord. Some familiar and some new faces in there. We want to hear from you all on the head coaching candidate showdown we saw last night and the head coaching openings discussion that we'll have. How many openings will there be? That's another topic we can kind of broach today. I find this interesting every year. Every year we think that there will inevitably be, a half dozen or so. And then at some point in the season, I look up and I go, will there be? Really? It doesn't, like, where? And then by the end of the year, inevitably, there are. So That's where we're headed. And which openings will be open? That's a conversation that we can have. Looking forward to all of it. So like the show, jump in the comments. And Austin, if you wouldn't mind getting us started.
Let's do it officially. Welcome to AtoZSports here, powered by the BTA Sports app. As always, I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze. We go live on AtoZSports every weekday morning at 8:10 Central Time. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Do follow us on Google. We're about to start doing a lot more of this out here as a company, and you'll see that coming soon. But if you do follow us on Google as a preferred source, what that means is whenever you Google Titans fill in the blank, AtoZSports should be the preferred source for that. So if you like our content, like what Easton, Buck, JT, and I are doing on a regular basis, all of our social content as well, please follow us on Google with that link that I just pasted in the chat. We also have to thank our sponsors because they are phenomenal and they help us and they help out you as well. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them at 11 or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online, bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short by a golf cart. Holidays are basically here. Christmas is under a week away. BoteroCarts.com, Gallatin and Columbia. And Window Nation, savings galore at windownation.com. A free estimate there for you. windownation.com is where to go. Normally, Easton, I like to run a tight show because of, being on time, having good time to hit our sponsor breaks, asking questions, being poignant, all that stuff. But when the team is 2-12 and it's right before Christmas and the game that's coming up on Sunday doesn't really matter all that much, I feel like we can get a little loosey-goosey with it because I'm what's popular. It comes in. What ridiculous take will Austin have today? I didn't have a ridiculous take yesterday. You guys are ridiculous in how you just misconstrued and spun my take yesterday that just had some nuance to it. Easton and I were actually on the same page for the most part. We just had some slight differences in opinion. And Vanessa is just trying to spread just misinformation and just dirty my name and all the Facebook groups that are Titans Facebook groups across just by tagging me and stuff and saying how Vanessa took from the show yesterday, Easton, that I do not want Cam to have any involvement in the Titans head coaching search. That's what Vanessa took. That is not what I said at all.
For like an hour. That's what you said over and over.
No. So you don't jump into that too and start spreading my stuff either, where it's wrong.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the hour. That's what I got from it. I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Ridiculous. The lack of listening comprehension is insane. Here. I did not have a ridiculous take. I don't think Cam Ward should be leaned on too much to hire the next Titans coach. Ask him his non-negotiables. Let him meet the finalists when they come to the building. But that's about it. Why? Because he's 23 years old. He's played 14 games in the NFL. That's what his involvement should be.
Whoa, man.
Ridiculous.
All right, man.
Listen.
I feel like this might be bothering you a little bit. Listen, Mr. Popular, who sent that original comment. Austin Stanley pops up on my phone every day at 7:15, and it's a phone call, and every day I say to myself, oh, what ridiculous take will Austin Stanley have today? So you and I couldn't be more in lockstep on that part of it. Austin, I think you're letting the bullies win. I don't know what to tell you. I think you need to.
Vanessa, I'm just going to say, I don't know how you pronounce your last name, but it's Corlaia to me because Vanessa Corlaia is lying.
Oh,
I don't drink
got
Red
him.
Bull. I don't drink Red Bull, so there's no Red Bull to take away. And Deborah say, take a breath, dude.
You're right. You drink way more caffeine in your own homemade concoction than what is in a Red Bull.
Yes, and Matthew saying worst take of the year. Yeah, worst take of the year. My God,
this guy showed up. He showed up for the first time yesterday. That's crazy.
That wasn't even. I didn't even have a bad take. It wasn't a bad take.
I know, but if you think that was the worst take of the year, you've been here one day. It was the worst take of yesterday. Actually, that's not even true. I saw worse takes yesterday.
It was not a bad take. It was not.
I think it was a bad
agreed. Take. What was bad about it? Tell me.
The whole part that we disagreed about for an hour. We did argue for an hour about it.
Yeah, I know.
But all the things we argued about, that's the part I think is bad.
But what? What about it was a bad
take? How about how after an hour, the conclusion you unironically came to was that Cam Ward should be forbidden from sitting down with the new coach?
I was tongue-in-cheek. At that point, we had devolved.
I don't know. Hey, listen, I'm starting the hashtag. Hashtag let Cam sit. Austin Stanley's trying to keep this man on his feet.
Cam Ward should be able to talk for hours on his feet. He's 23 years old. He can stand for days.
He needs to save the legs. Let him sit.
Should be able to stand for days. In January, Cam can stand for all. He can stand the whole January for all I care. He's not doing anything with saving his legs for what? The playoffs? No.
Let Cam sit.
All right. Let's get back on task here because I thought last night's game was phenomenal. It was great.
So much fun.
The Seahawks down 30-14, down 16 points in the fourth quarter. Sam Darnold was about to throw more interceptions, it felt like, because he'd already had 2 at 6, count them, against the Rams in 2 games this year. And then you get a punt return touchdown, crazy, never seen before 2-point conversion that went well. And then just I thought the wildest thing is once the Seahawks tied at 30-30, there were like 5 possessions or 7 possessions, something crazy in like the last 5-6 minutes.
There were 11 total possessions in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah.
For reference, the average NFL game has 24 possessions. This one had 11 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when they weren't scoring, they were punting it back to the other team pretty quickly.
I was on the under in this game, just not like a big unit size or anything, but basically just fading every time we come into a game as an NFL public and we all hype it up to the point of like expecting the game of the year. Usually it's not. Last night we got the rare stars aligning for what felt like what was going to be the game of the year being the game of the year, and that's what makes it so magical and incredible. But usually it's not. And when it's on Thursday Night Football, which is known for short week slop, and it's a divisional game, which can always be an ugly rock fight, and it's outdoors in Seattle where the forecast yesterday, I don't know if you followed this all day yesterday, but there were like the wind and the rain elements of this were a big factor. And folks don't like my brother before the game was like, hey, I'm placing this parlay. Matthew Stafford over 225 passing yards and Sam Darnold over 225 passing yards. I'm like, there are better parlays to place than this. This didn't even hit the first time they played, and that was indoors.
Puka had over 225 receiving yards.
Right. Now, the parlay we changed it to still hit, so he wasn't too mad at me for talking him out of that. That parlay did hit. But it took overtime, and he was like, I can't believe you talked me out of that. I'm like, dude, it was raining.
You needed some crazy stuff.
It was raining for 3 quarters, and at the end of the third quarter, Sam Darnold had 75 passing yards. So this game got drunk in the fourth quarter. They came into the fourth quarter with 37 points, and my under was in safe shape. Yeah. They then scored in the fourth quarter in overtime 38 points. They scored more points after the turn of the fourth quarter than they did before it.
How about this? Keelan said, I went to sleep at 30-14, woke up, it was tied. Now, my question to you, Keelan, is did you fall asleep or did you pass out? Because that's not falling asleep. That is taking a quick nap and then waking up afterwards.
That's right.
And be like,
that has to be jarring to be like, what happened? What did I miss?
Yeah. And so it was jarring. And so, look, and the 2-point conversion at the end, it was the first time in NFL history that a overtime game has ended on a successful 2-point conversion attempt, which I think is a fascinating note. And to me,
it feels crazy. Like that's never happened.
But it's a new overtime rule.
I know. It's just
unsuccessful attempt. It's ended on a failed 2-point conversion attempt.
Right, of course.
But so I thought that game last night, the finish had last out in the 9th inning going to the World Series celebration energy to me. I don't know if you felt that or not, because it was a 2-point conversion. It was like this.
There was juice. I completely
the crowd,
agree.
And it was a home game. The crowd was silent at the snap. And then all of a sudden they're watching. It's a quick snap. It's a 2-point conversion, so it's a faster play. And the tight end who just signed his contract extension, he has 2 catches on the whole year.
I was about to say total nobody.
Just total nobody. Runs a great delayed route, has great timing and pace with it, catches it, and immediately does like the outfielder. I caught the fly ball to go to the World Series thing, and then spikes it. And like in the crowd had the same type of.
And every Seahawks sprints to the crowd in the end zone. They're jumping in the stands.
It's like you got the winning run is on second, and the ball pops up in the air, and everybody's like, oh. And then as soon as it hits that glove, everybody freaks out. And so that's what it felt like to me. It was a great moment on a Thursday night game. It felt like playoffs. It was kind of a playoff game because now Seattle has in their control for the 1 seed in the NFC.
I won't lie. And by the way, that part's crazy too, how they came into that game without a playoff spot locked up.
Yeah.
And now not only did they secure a playoff berth, they went from not officially in the playoffs to now the favorite to be the 1 seed. It's just crazy divisional dynamics there. It made me a little bit sad watching this game, Austin. Watching any game like this is this way, but last night was especially electric. Everybody knows that Seattle's atmosphere, like they've got phenomenal fans. They've got a stadium that is literally designed to be as loud as possible. And so we've seen this before from them, but the way that stadium, I mean, they were turning on Sam Darnold in the middle of the game when he threw his second back-breaking interception in the red zone. And then the way that they're just all the way back in by the end of the game, and there's that level of pop. I'm sitting on my couch trying to imagine that for the Titans, and it's difficult. I was trying to think of the last Titans game that I attended as a fan or in my capacity as media. The honest answer is the last time the Titans had anything close to that level of pop in Nissan Stadium, I was not even close to becoming a credentialed media member. I'm trying to think of when it would have been.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
I mean, they were the 1 seed like 4 years ago. They were the division leader at 7-4, approaching Thanksgiving.
Right, but I'm trying to think of the game where the stadium was, because there's also COVID to consider here. Like the last game that had this level of electricity
when they were the 1 seed hosting the Bengals in that,
right. And guess what they did? They lost. I'm talking about a moment, a winning moment in the stadium where the stadium goes crazy. That's what I'm talking about.
I got you.
The last one I can remember was the Bills game in prime time where they stopped Josh Allen on the goal line.
Yeah,
but that was COVID, so it wasn't a full stadium.
I got you. It was when Marcus Mariota stiff arm buried Church into oblivion to clinch the playoffs in the 2017 season.
You think that was the most recent one?
Yes.
2017?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, so that's kind of my point, right? It's like it's been so long. It's
because
been a decade.
that was a
since I've
15-10 final
that in
score, but it was cold. It was the second to last game of the season. And
you know what? This is a good answer, actually. It's kind of that's a good one for playoff implications, but for Mr. Shuckle, the Titans that classic game against the Chiefs, 35-32 or whatever it was,
which was Josh Kalu blocks the field goal.
And what was that? 2019? Was that the run?
Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah. So that's
Tannehill, the go-ahead touchdown to Adam Concussion Humphreys.
That's right. I was at that game, and that one definitely had some juice.
Who else had a big? That was a big Derrick Henry touchdown run game.
Mm-hmm.
Rashaan Evans had the fumble return touchdown.
I mean, Tannehill had some really clutch moments
fourth
in that
quarter
game
comeback,
as well.
Huge. I mean, there's plenty of those. Ryder said the Henry 99-yard run. That was a big one. Others are bringing that up too.
But I think it's safe to say it's been since COVID ended the world briefly that the Titans have had a moment in their home stadium with that level of elation.
Big Meech is correct though. The 2021 Thursday night game against the Niners was a big game. That was a big one.
You're right.
And
that's fair.
Had a big game and handful of huge catches there too.
That was the what's his name?
Bobby Hart.
Who?
Bobby Hart.
No, was he playing that game?
He was a starting tackle.
Oh gosh, no. Who's I'm blanking on the Titans lineman, 3rd round pick. Now he's with the Saints. Everybody wanted him to play tackle. He didn't play tackle. He played tackle in that game, and he shut down Nick Bosa the whole game. Yeah, Raidens. That was the Raidens left tackle game where he stuck it to Nick Bosa, and everybody came out of that game thinking left tackle of the future.
And then he tore his ACL the next week or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we have 2 coaches to get to the actual topic, because this has been the loosiest-goosiest show that we've had in a while.
Oh, who cares? I enjoyed that.
We haven't gotten anything. Yeah, I do too. It was a good,
actual good Titans memories.
Reminiscing some big time moments, because there were a lot. The last 3 years have been miserable existence. Maybe the last 3.5 years, if you include the 7-game losing streak at the end of the 22 season, miserable existence. But there were a lot of very, very good years, very big, massive moments in the Titans' existence.
It's like the Office meme. It's like they never tell you in the good old times when you're in the good old times, you know?
Good old days.
Good old days, whatever it is.
Yes, for sure. So, all right, let's get to the question that we have here, because the 2 coordinators who went round for round, punch by punch last night, Rams DC Chris Shula, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Who do you think had the more impressive performance last night? We'll discuss those guys. Easton will give an overview on what he thought and walked away as how impressive those 2 coordinators were. They are going to be hot coaching candidates here in the next month. And the Titans, I'm sure, will talk to both of them to some extent, and they'll talk about some competition later on. But which of those 2 coordinators, Chris Shula or Clint Kubiak, had the more impressive performance last night in the NFL game of the year? We'll get to your thoughts on that one. But first, the Barton Insurance Group, they got you covered. They had A to Z covered for the workers' comp policy for us to stay compliant as a business, that matters a lot, especially as a digital company that has employees across the entire country. State by state workers' comp situations very, very different. I know nothing about it. The good thing is Barton Drury knows everything about it. I don't have to worry about it either at all. So they update us when we hire somebody. The last thing on my mind when we hire somebody new is what state do they live in? Because that needs to be updated in our workers' comp policy. That is not what I need to be thinking about. I need to think about that person's skill set, talent, performance, and how they're going to help our staff and team. And then Barton Drury says, we got you covered right there with workers' comp. Also, our health coverage, big players in that. They make it easy on our staff and on Zach and I as well. So bartondrury.com for any insurance needs you got, 401k planning as well, bartondrury.com.
We are also powered by BTA Sports. Check them out with the link in the description below. BTA Sports is better for bettors. You can use their AI machine learning driven betting tools in the palm of your hand to make smarter bets and make more money at the window. We recommend you use that link in the description to get a 14-day free trial. It's more than enough time to, frankly, make enough money to pay for the subscription itself. So take advantage of that today as the NFL playoffs are nearly upon us.
All right, so Clint Kubiak, Chris Shula. Easton, those are two guys that we both expect the Titans to talk to at least once in the Zoom interview stage, in the pre-Cam Ward meeting stage, as I will now call it. Do you want to get to the comments about who the chat thinks had the more impressive comment or performance last night before you kind of give them the answers to the test? Sure. What do you want to do here? I'll let you kind of run that.
Well, and by the way, Malachi pointing out Dylan Radin's second round pick. Yes, he was. Sorry, I'm mixing Dylan Radin's second round pick
and 51st overall
and NPF third round pick. A couple of guys that were.
That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
You gave me the wrong information to try to guess, and
so sorry.
Still got it.
So sorry. Curtis says Kubiak is that guy. Johnny says Kubiak. Billy says Kubiak. The Jer says Kubiak. Cap says Kubiak. Jonathan says Kubiak is growing on him. Keelan is just mad the Titans got rid of Ernest Jones. Turned into
Denard Wilson.
Poor Denard. This is Denard's burner.
That was what broke it. That was the first domino.
That's his Joker origin story. Was that trade? Yeah. But that trade turned into Gunnar Helm. So
hey,
there's a chance that we look back on that more favorably. Nero says Clint Kubiak. So far, consensus is clear.
Which I think is crazy.
Kubiak, I do too. Kubiak from the Jer has the feel for the game. I mean, listen, whatever your answer is, I don't think anybody thinks that either of these guys was poor last night. They both were. I mean, they were dueling. They were throwing haymakers. So it was an impressive showing for both. American Toff says Kubiak, I want to coach with confidence enough to go for 2 points in overtime. Don't want to take away from Kubiak too much, but every 2-point conversion he attempted, he had no choice.
Yeah, and that's.
All three of them weren't really a decision.
This is where I'm going to have to call a timeout, a full timeout if we're talking basketball. Because they had to go for 2 in that, because if they tied, the Rams won the tiebreaker to have the 1 seed. So there was no point of kicking.
And also more than that, no matter what, every team that has the ball second is like nobody wants. How big of a loser do you have to be to play for the tie?
Yeah, well, there's time left on the clock, so I get right, but still, in this particular situation, a tie is a loss for what was on the line, right? Yes. And so, how about this? This is what I texted this with Zach Reagan last night. If you're in overtime and you get the ball first, maybe you lose the coin toss and you get the ball first. Do you go for 2 when you score?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, I agree with you. I do think there's an interesting conversation back and forth, because my first reaction when he texted that was no. And I was like, well.
But you by not going for 2, I mean, the game theory of it is interesting, because basically if you get the ball first, you're never going to go for 2. And if you get the ball second, you're always going to go for 2.
Right.
Assuming everybody scores touchdowns. The reason you don't is because you are making the other team have to hit a parlay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's hard to score a touchdown. And then it's also hard to, statistically speaking, in the last 5 years, I think the 2-point conversion percentage is like 45% of the time. So it's less than a coin flip. So it's that multiplied by whatever the odds of them scoring a touchdown is, which is poor.
I get you, but I'm also thinking like, do you trust your defense to get a stop? I think
the only reason you'd ever do it is if the game is like 45-45, your defense is objectively sorry and or gassed, and you just have like if you're in overtime and it's one of those games where they're on the broadcast, they're throwing up the graphic like the 49ers have scored a touchdown on the last 5 drives of it. Like they've scored 5 times in a row. Like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
My
answer was if you lose a game because you went for 2 first in overtime and you missed it and they won it on a PAT, that feels silly. If you lose a game like the Rams last night,
get crushed.
Yeah. If you lose the game like the Rams last night, then you don't feel silly. You tip your cap and you move forward, right?
Here's another element of the overtime discussion, which I promise I won't derail us too much. I don't know if you've noticed this. Basically, every time I've watched an overtime game this year, the team that wins the toss has gotten it wrong. They keep saying we'd like to defer. Not
because
enough.
Because defer is just ironed into their brains for the actual coin toss, and it's different.
Yeah, I know. But like at some point, and the ref always gives them grace, and he's like, "You mean you'd like to kick, right?" And they're like, "Yes." And last night, I think the ref literally said on the hot mic, like, "I got you." At what point do we put the hammer down and say you need to get it right out there?
Ref needs to you defer. Okay, other team,
right? And then turn to the other guy. Okay, what would you like to kick or receive? Right. You like to defer to let him choose? Okay. At some point, we need to put our foot down on this.
I agree.
And the players should be expected to understand it.
Off-season symposium that's going to be added is the correct terminology when doing the coin toss. One guy per team has to know how to do it, and that's all you need. Well, you just do one guy.
Like make the long snapper your coin toss expert. He's got time on his hands during the week.
Totally. And
like make him the guy that knows what he's doing out there.
Agree. All right, so back to Kubiak versus Shula. The chat was overwhelming Kubiak, and I think that's wild. And I think Kubiak is getting credit because the Seahawks came back and won, right? Fair. That's a what have you done for me lately? Kubiak came back and won. Chris Shula's defense gave up the comeback to lose.
True.
Now, within all that is the punt return for a touchdown that Clint Kubiak got for his credit that was a ding against Chris Shula, which neither guy had any involvement in.
And a successful 2-point try that we've literally never seen in the 100-year history of the NFL.
It was literally Looney Tunes.
It's never happened, and it will probably never happen again. So that was required also to win the game.
So Chris Shula,
I completely disagree with the chat, by the way, Austin.
You're like Chris Shula. You thought Chris Shula was great.
I think objectively he had the better game.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think they both had impressive showings, but for me, Kubiak, it was moments. Shula, it was a level of consistency. It really that stretched back to the previous game too, to be honest with you. Like the way that he had the Seahawks number. Again, Darnold had like 75 passing yards through 3 quarters, and it took an all-time momentum shift, and as you pointed out, an all-time return parlayed into a 2-point conversion, and the fact that they just like, if a 2-point conversion odds are 45%, like I said, what's 45% times 45% times 45%? Because they did it 3 times. What's that parlay? It's not great. So I just think that Shula did some really impressive things from a schematic standpoint that put the Seahawks in a blender. And also, one more point, we've talked at times, Austin, I've gotten myself in hot water with the chat at times this year, talking about how explosives are great and they can often win you games, but they're the icing on top of the cake. That's not like, you don't build the plane out of explosives. And if you wanted to play devil's advocate with the Seahawks offense all year, but especially in this game, they have lived and died by explosives. It's like some of these Alabama basketball teams lately that they get to the March Madness tournament, and every game it's like, well, if they're hot from 3, they're going to beat them by 40. But if they can't shoot the 3-pointer, they're going to lose by 40. Like you live and die by the long ball. I think back on this game for the Seahawks, and it's like obviously the big long kickoff return, which is an offense, but still that's an explosive. The massive game tying touchdown to get him within 2 to AJ Barner, which was a really nice design, by the way. The broadcast explained this. Herbstreit explained this on the broadcast, where that Seattle concept, Seattle ran it, but it's a Seattle concept, is typically designed for that tight end on that seam route to break back to the left instead of cut right the way that he did and go against the grain of the flow of the play. And that's how Darnold was allowed to boot left, throw back over his right, and had a guy wide open. A really nice little wrinkle. But that's an explosive, 60-yard touchdown pass. And then early in the game, their first touchdown, right, was that Ken Walker screen jailbreak pass that went for 40 some odd yards. So it didn't strike me as a super efficient game of offense. They also had buried in there, even in the fourth quarter when they had 11 possessions in the game, there was a lot of like ugly 3-and-outs and surrender runs on third down. There was that one third down, I don't know if you were watching at this point, where it was like 3rd and 16, they surrender run up the middle. The second it's handed off, the entire stadium just boo. They hated it. And then Ken Walker goes for 17 yards somehow.
It was Alonzo Mourning gift.
And they were like, great call, coach. Great call. So it was an up and down day for Kubiak for me. Ultimately a great game because he pressed the right buttons in the right moments and had the big balls plays out up when they needed them. But I think Shula down to down was more consistent and did more to suggest that he did sustainable things.
I think as a play caller, the big moments is very important. The big moments are huge as a offensive play caller, where consistency is kind of you need, like, the Titans have not been great at situational football offensively for years, right? And we need them to show that they can do that. And Kubiak checked that box last night. Shula's checking those boxes too. Now let's talk more about these guys. And I thought it was funny. You know, we've been talking about Brian Callahan, Nepo baby Brian Callahan, right? Well, how about this? Who is the bigger Nepo baby between these two? There's a Nepo grandbaby involved in this conversation.
Ever heard the names Kubiak and Shula before?
Good
Those ring a bell for you?
So, like, Clint Kubiak, we've been through this graphic earlier in the week. Maybe I can't remember what day it is, but obviously the
Wednesday.
son of Gary Kubiak. Just 2 days ago. So Gary Kubiak, who's now job jumping and has gotten promotions and better roles each of the last 5 seasons, including this year as the Seattle Seahawks. A little Liam Cohen-y right here as he's doing that, climbing the ladder. And then Chris Shula, who's 39 years old, the grandson of Don Shula. Also, his father is Dave Shula, and his uncle is Mike Shula. I think I got all the Shula's names correctly. He is basically Clay Matthews, the former Green Bay Packers edge rusher, because he's got a famous uncle, famous dad that were really good. I guess he's just got the father who is better than, or the grandfather who is better than all of them. But the other fun thing about Chris Shula is that he, I think his pedigree as a Shula, being located in the southern Florida area, of course, he went to St. Thomas Aquinas for high school, which is like the best program in the world. Mm-hmm. And then he was a Miami of Ohio linebacker and roommate of Sean McVay. So they've been boys for quite some time.
They got that same look too. They got that boy genius look to him.
Oh, and they clearly work out together.
Right.
Yep.
You know what he looks like?
They probably go to the same barber.
Did you
at
ever,
the same time to game plan? No,
they have the
barber
vibe.
Comes to them in the office.
Absolutely. Yes. They have the vibe
in the weight
of
room. The barber comes to the weight room between cardio.
Those are all the details you have anymore?
They do 10-yard sprints.
Okay.
And then the barber does before the 10-yard sprints.
Gotcha. They have the same vibe to me as, I don't know if you've ever seen now I'm blanking on.
It's done.
Here we go. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Found it. The name of the movie. But that is a movie about an actor and his stunt double, and they look like roughly alike. And it's Pitt and it's DiCaprio. Like they have the vibe of like behind the scene pictures in a movie, and it's like, oh yeah, I can see the stunt double-ness there. It's probably the back of his head we're seeing a lot on these explosions and stuff.
Yeah. For sure. So I think, look, these two guys are legitimate candidates. They're the young coordinator type, one offense, one defense. We heard Cam Ward say this week that he's
leave me alone, Kyle. I'm trying. I'm fighting out here. I'm trying.
That is the second Billy Madison reference on the show today. You don't even know what the first one was.
I don't, but you know who made a Billy Madison reference to me last night and it bothered me was Jared Stillman. He tweeted at me a Billy Madison reference, and I'm like, my worlds are mixing in ways I don't like them to.
The first one was when I asked Keelan if did you fall asleep or did you pass out?
Okay, yeah. That struck me as strange at the moment. Now I understand.
Now you get it. Yeah, today, Junior. All right.
I thought you were accusing him of like being a drunk or something.
That's what they were accusing Billy of being.
Right. I just me not getting the reference. I was like, okay, Austin, relax. It's kind of aggressive for 8 a.m.
So we've got those two guys who are going to get interviews, plural, for multiple jobs. There are currently 2 jobs open: the Titans and the Giants. Both Brian's fired. Brian Schottenheimer, safe. Mark safe in Dallas.
That's right.
But Brian Daboll, Brian Callahan out. Bill Barnwell has predicted 6 more jobs to open. And then he ranked those 8 jobs, the 2 plus the 6 he thinks are going to open, and where the Titans land in those 8 potentially all open jobs. Let's get to that. But first, Easton, Botero Carts.
Botero Carts. They are your destination for a golf cart, and life is short, so you should go and get one. They are locally owned and operated. They're a full sales and service dealership. There are 2 of them, in fact, in the Middle Tennessee area, one in Columbia, one in Gallatin. So wherever you are, they have a location near you to serve you. They do not nickel and dime you. It is no dealer fees on their carts, no credit card fees on their carts. They offer 0% financing for 36 months. Their carts start at just under $6,800. Open 7 days a week. Again, locally owned and operated. So support a local business and buy a golf cart today.
All right. Also, that was really quickly. I was not expecting you to go that fast.
It was an efficient read.
Yeah, BTA Sports, better for bettors. You got BTA Sports. You should download the app today. It is the right time to do that. It is right before you can gift this for Christmas to yourself. How about that? I think that's a great idea because you're going to get 12 months of subscription for $79 after your 14-day free trial. You're going to get basically the entire next NFL season as you finish out the playoffs and the Super Bowl, plus Major League Baseball and everything they have to offer. BTA Sports is growing and adding more and more for us to win with a fantasy optimizer for your lineups in both NFL and Major League Baseball. That's going to be huge for people, and being better with your sports bets. BTA Sports, download the app today. Code AtoZSports is the code to use on the link in the description. That's code AtoZSports for that 14-day free trial turned into a 12-month subscription for just $79. All right, so Bill Barnwell predicts 8 jobs to be open. So 6 ones that are currently not open. He ranked them. So I guess because of the graphics that we have, we're going to go in order of how he ranked them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've got number 1, the Cincinnati Bengals job. Projected cap space, the 4th most cap space, which it sounds crazy because Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are combining for $1 bazillion. 10th most draft capital, and Barnwell starts his analysis. We don't often see a team give up on its season, which is why what the Bengals did in the 4th quarter against the Ravens was so curious last week. Admittedly, the Bengals weren't in a great spot at 4-9. They needed to run the table to have a shot at making the postseason. And after Joe Burrow threw a pick 6 with 7:55 to go, 4th quarter, the Bengals trailed 24-0 against the Ravens, whom they needed to beat to keep their playoff hopes alive. And there's been a lot that have come out about Joe Burrow's just flat out unhappiness and losing love for the game and all this kind of stuff. And does he want to go elsewhere? Is he going to Andrew Luck this thing? Or and Zach Taylor, who has been the head coach since the year before Joe Burrow came to town, is officially squarely on the hot seat. Joe Burrow's injuries have been a big time derailer of the Bengals organization ever since they lost in the Super Bowl. So your thoughts there on the Bengals being the best potential head coaching job to open?
You could have started and finished that analysis in that article with just like Joe Burrow, period. That's the whole pitch. That's the whole reason it's number 1. It's understandable why it's number 1. I mean, you can throw Jamar and T in there as well. They have a couple of elite guys under contract, but generally speaking,
defense.
It's just right. But all of that you are willing to overlook as a prospective head coach, because how often does the opportunity to step in for a quarterback of that caliber and become the coach of him open up? Very, very, very rarely. And you live and die by that. So it makes sense that that's number 1. Do I think it's going to be open though?
Yeah, I think you can answer that too.
Yeah, I mean the Bengals. We know the deal. weird organization, cheap organization. They're not looking to pay anybody to not work there. That's the reality of it. Also, they're not hasty in that way.
Wait, did you say you don't think it's going to be open?
I do not think it's going to be open. I do not think they will fire
You think
him.
they're going to keep Zach Taylor another year?
I do. I think this is the way that the Bengals roll. I think it would be them going against their own MO to fire him at this stage. Honestly, they are the annoyingly patient type, and a big deal of that has to do with money. Honestly, and Zach Taylor still Zach Taylor has the out. You at this point you may be fed up with it personally, but he can at least make the argument like, at no point has my offense been the issue. I'm the offense guy. I've got dudes, and we're scoring points. I don't know what to tell you. Now, in this most recent game, obviously they didn't, but that's because Joe Burrow played maybe the worst game of his entire career, and he kind of owned that after the game. But the story of the Bengals the past couple of years has been like, and the Bengals reached 49 points in their 3-point loss. That's how it goes. No matter how many points they score, the other team tends to score more because their defense is just that sorry. And so, he's still the head coach, so he's in charge of the defense too, but he's the offense guy at the end of the day. So
I don't know what his contract is. I don't know how many years he has left on that deal.
He's not up. I know that much.
Yeah, I mean, that's really usually the most we know is if the guy is expiring or on a contract year or has multiple years left, because they keep those things pretty secret. I think Zach Taylor's out. I think the Bengals have committed more over the last few years. They know if Joe Burrow's talking like this, they have to do something because they cannot lose Joe Burrow. There's also a wild conversation. This is not a Bengals podcast by any means, but there's a wild conversation on would it be smart for the Bengals to trade Joe Burrow if they can find a suitor to take Joe Burrow because of what they can get back for Joe Burrow to reset and restart the organization because of the money spent. That's for somebody else to talk through.
But it is an interesting conversation. You're right about that.
Number 2 on the list is a team that might be willing to trade for Joe Burrow. The Arizona Cardinals job not open. This is fascinating to me. Jonathan Gannon is the head coach there. The Cardinals stink out loud. They should have beaten the Titans, but they beat themselves instead. So they have the 17th most cap space, which is not much. The 6th most draft capital this upcoming year. Barnwell says, are the Cardinals better than the record? Absolutely. They're 2-7 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. They were a few first downs away from beating the Niners, conspired against themselves to blow a lead against we just talked about that. Failed in a goal-to-goal sequence, 4 down to the Colts, and blew a lead in the final 2 minutes against the Packers and lost an OT against the Jags. There's a Seahawks down the wire loss in there too. Wasn't it like 3 weeks in a row the Cardinals lost in like the last play of the game or something crazy like that early in like September and October?
Yeah, there was a stretch where it's like they were 1-4 and they'd lost their 4 games by a combined like 4 points or something.
Yeah, pretty wild. So this job is absolutely coming open.
Or no. It was a month stretch where every game came down to a game-winning field goal, and they were on the wrong end of all of them.
Yeah. And the Titans were included in that. This job's coming open, right?
The Cardinals job, I'd have to imagine so. It's been a kind of an indefensible year, and the inverse of the Zach Taylor situation. He's the defensive guy out there in Arizona. Jonathan Gannon is, and their defense blows. So he doesn't have he doesn't have anywhere to hang his hat on in that regard.
And so
I think for
this
sure,
being the second best job opening possibly is kind of crazy. They don't have a lot of cap space.
I don't agree with that. I don't either. They have a complete uncertainty at quarterback going forward.
Well, and so Barnwell continued that he believes the Cardinals could be one of those teams that could trade up to number 1 for Fernando Mendoza if is good. But in the Cardinals, where they pick right now, they're right there in that. This is from earlier. This is old. I guess did you guys not upload or where the here we are.
But there is a new one.
There we go. This is where the Cardinals are. They're top 6, right? So they don't have to jump.
It's been a rough year when we're having to shuffle through our various Tankathon graphics.
Well, when I
got so many of them.
Whenever I upload the new Tankathon graphic, I delete the previous Tankathon graphic because there's just one left in there.
I've not made any of these, so not my fault.
It is JT's fault. The first time JT's ever done anything wrong, to be honest. When it comes to that.
Wow.
He's got a pretty good track record. So, all All right, so that's the Cardinals' job there. So we get to the third best job, according to Bill Barnwell. But Easton, tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute is the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. They're located just off of I-65 south of Nashville. You can't miss it. It's a big, beautiful building on a hill, and they have a state-of-the-art rehab facility in there to help you recover. Everything is under that one roof for your convenience. Their clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab is going to be done in-house. They're not going to send you running around town for a bunch of referrals. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. They have over a dozen specialists at BJI who are going to help you through any type of injury. So schedule an appointment today by going to boneandjointtn.org.
Hello Lady says, more likes, please. And I agree. So make sure you hit that like button, like the show, like the show, like the show. We appreciate that. For you guys who have, please like it. All right. So number 3, after the Bengals and the Cardinals and the hypothetical coaching openings, we have the Cleveland Browns, the other team the Titans have beat. I think it's hilarious that the two teams the Titans have beat are the number 2 and 3 coaches to be fired. So the Browns projected cap space 26th, gross. Projected.
If you lose to the Titans this year, your job is unsafe. Get fired,
or you're Zach Taylor. If the Browns do move on from Kevin Stefanski after 6 seasons and 2 coaches of the year, their new coach will face a franchise that's still in transition. There's 1 year left on that crazy Deshaun Watson contract. Nobody's going to trade for that thing. If they don't, so they got a lot of problems, right? So that's where their cap space is tied up into Deshaun Watson, who is not playing for them, and Myles Garrett, who's trying everything to do to make up for Deshaun Watson not playing for them and having all the sacks on the season. So, fourth on this list is the Tennessee Titans.
Hey.
First most cap space, 120 projected, and that can grow because they don't have a lot of dead money. So there's more room to grow that. 5th most draft capital. That can grow if they continue to trade back and add more capital. And I thought this was fascinating from Barnwell. Could the Titans be the next year's version of the Patriots? 4-13, fired Mayo after 1 season, but there were reasons to believe they had their quarterback in Drake May. He didn't put up impressive numbers in his debut season, but with little help at receiver and along the offensive line, May still flashed. So Barnwell further said that when he went and asked people about that, who could be the Patriots of next year, the Titans were the most popular answer. So that's that. That's that.
That's right. I mean, I understand why, because just on paper, they fit that archetype, right? Young quarterback, really rough situation year 1, showed flashes if you were paying attention. The perceived reality is the Titans had a terrible head coach in place. They have the opportunity to potentially make a massive swing in coaching impact depending on who they hire. Kind of beyond that, I'm not sure how many more parallels there are. They've got young pieces that you can hope develop in a hurry.
I think they have a late round picks who are better than where they were drafted.
Right. Fair.
How about that? Kayshon Boutte for the Patriots?
The offensive line is not some giant, the offensive line is ready, sneakily ready to be a part of a contending group. So that's really what it is.
So 5 on this list are the Giants. 6 on this list from Barnwell is the Atlanta Falcons. Then you have 7 is the Miami Dolphins. And 8th on the list is the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Falcons is fascinating because you have a quarterback unknown, but the defense looks like it's been fairly fulfilled. They got a pass rush for the first time ever.
I think the Falcons' job is really tricky because my gut reaction is like, we are all really underrating the attractiveness of that job. Now, I do think that maybe the front office and ownership situation from a coaching standpoint is a little tenuous. I don't know. I mean, like the front office seems to have not a whole lot of process. Once a year, they do something that leads all the headlines. I think they fly by the seat of their pants, to be honest with you. And
Darius says the Falcons have their first round pick. That's fair.
That's going to lead to some bad things.
Yeah.
But
and Rob said the Cardinals aren't on the list. Oh, you missed it. The Cardinals were 2nd.
That's right.
So just to recap everything and see if I can get this on the order top of my head. First, best job opening, potentially the Bengals. Second, the Cardinals. Third, the Browns. Fourth, the Titans. Fifth, the Giants. Sixth,
I forget.
Seventh, the Falcons. Sixth, the Falcons. Seventh, the Dolphins. Eighth is the Raiders. There you go.
That sounds right. That's
right.
But yeah, the Falcons job, like, it's really just the quarterback question that I find tricky. Because if you're a prospective head coach interviewing for that job and you feel confident that Michael Penix can be the guy, then that job is super attractive. They've got dudes on both sides of the ball that a lot of other openings don't have. But if you aren't confident in the quarterback situation, I wouldn't take it. So I don't know. It's a Rorschach. It's a Michael Penix Rorschach tests opening.
Definitely. I think the one thing I'm curious about is like the Raiders. The Raiders are 8th on this list. Pete Carroll. Is Pete Carroll getting fired after the 1 year? He already fired Chip Kelly?
I don't see how he isn't. I think you have to. Like, I think it's that bad.
The whole idea was like, we're going to get more mature, right? And in Vegas, and that did not go very well. And I think
it's supposed to be a floor raiser, and there's no the floor is lowered somehow.
Yeah, so I think for me, the Raiders, I believe, are likely to get the number 1 overall pick.
Agreed.
And are they going to draft Fernando Mendoza?
At this point, I'll be shocked if they don't get it, for the record. I mean, I've been beating this drum since the Titans bye week that the Raiders are the worst team. They are going to earn the first overall pick. Like, they're going to capital E earn it. And I think that's going to come to fruition. And yes, I think that they will take Fernando Mendoza.
And I think that is a weird spot for Mendoza to be in.
Agreed, but Tom Brady pulling the strings out there in Vegas. I think he is gonna see himself in Fernando, like weird, kind of shaped, funny, not the most athletic looking guy. He's gonna be in his underwear at the combine, and Tom's gonna be like, "That's me. I've seen that guy before." Got some like kind of complimentarily some autistic tendencies. Like this guy's all in on the ball. He is like dialed in a way that a lot of guys aren't. I want that guy on my team. Like he's a psycho.
Vegas is a strange place for that.
Right. From Fernando's standpoint, I'd be terrified to do it. I would not want to go.
Arizona sneakily just as dangerous as Vegas.
Yes. Arizona's a wasteland, man.
But there's less attention on it. So I think either way, I think there's we'll find. I think there's a lot more.
Who is the QB needy team that you like? If you're Fernando's camp, would you rather the Raiders situation or the Browns?
Oh, you would rather go to the Raiders, I would think, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
Fernando versus Shador, you could not have two more opposite people.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just from a narrative standpoint, those two in a room would be weird.
I didn't even know.
The vibes would be atrocious.
Like, Shador is as charismatic as it can be, and Fernando Mendoza is not.
I think those two couldn't be any more different.
Yeah. No, I know, and neither is a bad thing. Different, not meaning just bad.
Yeah,
just different, opposites. I mean,
I think the Browns end up trading.
Or up the sitcom. Put that on Hard Knocks. just let that's literally the Office football style. The most awkward humor you could possibly find.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think wherever Fernando ends up is going to be sad and scary. But that's how it.
If Fernando Mendoza beats Ohio State in the national championship game to go 2-0 against the Buckeyes. Mm-hmm. Then drafted by the Cleveland Browns.
Awesome. All
the
those
biggest
fans
crossover.
That hate him. Right.
Yes.
So I guess we like Fernando now.
Well,
all right.
Damn it. If you can't beat him, draft him.
If you can't beat him, draft him. That's right.
All right. Look, there's way more meat on the bone for this. We can talk, I think, next week. We've got so much time. Oh, look. Jeff, you are so predictable. That won't happen, Austin. You said that there's no way that he would beat Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, and that happened, Jeff.
Jeff is right. That won't happen because Ohio State will lose before the national championship.
Ohio State will lose to Georgia in the semis.
They won't even get the chance to have their revenge in Fernando.
That's right. Well, and I think Indiana will lose to Oregon in the semis, so that's beside the point.
Oh,
just getting into my prediction.
Oregon Georgia final.
Yeah, bring it
Exotic.
on. Dan Lanning versus mentor Kirby Smart storylines. Okay, clicks. Although the
Captain
other Indiana Ohio State would be way better for that.
Yeah, you're right.
If I was truly being Captain Clicks, then I could do that. Look, Jeff laughing at Georgia. Ha ha ha! Watch it, man. They figured some things out. Jeff, you're such a homer. Like Jeff is such a homer. It's so wild. Like the homer level, like unawareness of the homer level is crazy. Crazy. Anybody who comes after me for calling me a Vol homer, just look at my Diego Pavia tweets.
I love
you gotta have some awareness here, Jeff.
I love fans like Jeff who wake up every day, look themselves in the mirror, and say,
"How many Ohio State logos can I wear today?"
Be as annoying as you possibly can today. That's what Jeff wakes up and says to himself every single day. How annoying can you be about Ohio State today? And then he goes out and he does it. He lives his life that way.
And he logs onto his annoying Ohio State message board and says, "All right, guys, what's the plan?" And they go full-fledged. All right.
He puts his tinfoil hat on, loads up his PC, goes to the message boards, and saws away at the keyboard.
All right, Easton, we have our draft order routing guide. I'm going to have you do a project on the fly. I'm sorry for this. But right. Can you go look up what the Titans need to have happen and then see what BTA Sports thinks about the odds of that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, I told you I had a project, but I'll give you some time. BTA Sports, better for sports bettors. Easton's going to find out what the Titans need to have happen in this Week 16 slate to improve their NFL draft order odds. Currently slated to pick third. Can they inch up the board a little bit with a couple things that have happened? There are some interesting games to watch. We'll get through the NFL draft order routing guide in a second. But BTA Sports, download the app today. I talked earlier about how code AtoZSports gets you a 12-month subscription after a 14-day free trial for $79. If you don't want to invest $79, totally cool. We got another option for you. That's AtoZ14. You still get a 14-day free trial. So you can work yourself through like the college football playoffs, 14-day free trial, then a $9.99 weekly subscription with code ATOZ14. The link is in the description on YouTube, the title on Facebook right there. So check it out right there, BTA Sports, better for sports bettors. All right, so the draft routing guide. I'll put up the actual draft tankathon updated numbers here from on Monday. It did change slightly. Nothing really changed actually in the top 10 from last night's game because, like, for example, the Cardinals' strength of schedule is still the same distance away from the Titans. Titans are 5.76. The Cardinals is 5.71. It's changed by thousands of a percentage, but still the same distance. So the Titans are behind the Giants and the Raiders, the Browns, Jets, Cardinals, the 3-win teams, and the 4-win teams with the Saints, Commanders, and Bengals. So, Easton, how are you doing on your on-the-fly project?
Doing just fine. So, of course, step one is for the Titans to lose, which may very well be the trickiest of the steps.
The trickiest.
Well, no, that's an exaggeration on my part. I just am scared that they're going to win the game. The Titans, of course, host the Chiefs. The last I checked, the Chiefs are 3.5 points. It's now down to 3, a flat 3. Chiefs are a road field goal favorite. And you want to take a whack on the total in this game, Austin?
36.5.
37.5. Very close.
But
close. That is comfortably the lowest total of the week. No, it's tied. It's tied with the Raiders and the Texans. I think Vegas correctly is assuming Raiders score no points and the Texans score like 20. So the Titans need to lose that game, and according to BTA Sports, they are a 39% chance to win it. So they are underdogs, but
there's 61% chance to lose it.
That's right. Next, as I just scroll through the schedule, the Falcons and the Cardinals play. The Cardinals are one of the other 3-win teams. That matters for if the Titans were to win another game. Obviously, the Cardinals are hosting the Falcons as 3-point underdogs as well. And BTA Sports has them as 41.5% odds to win the game. So they are roughly in the same boat as the Titans are.
How about this? ESPN's analytics have the Cardinals as a 53% chance to win at home.
Interesting. How about that?
So the ESPN likes the Cardinals to win more than BTA does.
Okay. Another 3-win team is the Browns. They host the Bills this week. Say what?
Not happening.
Well, they are a 10.5 point home underdog, and BTA Sports shockingly has them as 24% chance to win, which feels very generous. That's not happening. Be awesome, but it's not happening. Let's see who else. You've got a little bit of a tank bowl here between the Jets and the Saints. The Jets
this is the one.
They're on the road in New Orleans. The Saints are 6-point home favorites. This is another low total game, 40.5 points. BTA Sports has that one. The Jets, 36% chance to win that game. That one, I think it's correct that the Saints are big favorites, especially with the Jets quarterback situation. Jets legend Brady Cook, I believe, is still in line to be the starter in this matchup. But
which means the Saints would win 3 in a row if that happens.
Right. That'd be.
Then you play the Saints on a 3-game winning streak next week. Are the Saints good enough to win 4 in a row? No.
Listen, the Shuck train is chugging down the tracks. I don't know what to
I think we have a chance for the Titans to win back-to-back games.
Yes, we have a chance for the Titans to win out. What are you talking about? The Jaguars could rest all their guys, and the Titans could win the third.
I don't see a scenario in which the Jaguars don't have something on the line in the last week.
Well, they obviously can have won the division by then. That part's easy. Like the Jaguars are close to. I believe the Jaguars win this week, and
but the Saints are the Texans are going to win this week.
You're right. At some point in the next 2, I'm pretty sure if the Jaguars win their next 2 games, no matter what, they win the division. I think. Don't somebody check me on that
before they even get to the Titans.
Right, week 16, 17. I think if the Jags win those games and get to 12 wins, I believe they win the division because the Texans
they have Broncos, Colts. So now that's tough, right? They go 2 Broncos, 2 Denver, and 2 the Colts.
There's a lot of variables in play.
The Jags are going to have something on the line.
I listen. I hope so. Let me get back to you on the math on all that. Here's the game that is honestly most interesting to me, Austin. The 2-win Giants are hosting the Vikings. They are 2.5 point home underdogs to Minnesota. I think that Minnesota is quite inflated from an emotional Cowboys game last week. Here's a weird tidbit. Every team that has beaten the Dallas Cowboys this year, apparently they've all been very emotional victories or draining victories or something because every single one of them has failed, some of them pretty miserably, to cover the spread in the following game. So the Giants very well could win this game, and they are one of the other 2-win teams alongside the Titans and the Raiders. So if they were to win, that'd be a huge deal for the Titans, obviously. Anything else on here? Of course, the Raiders, the other 2-win team, they are on the road in Houston. They are 14.5 point over the double touchdown underdogs to the Texans.
So really, the games that you are paying attention to, Titans lose the Chiefs. We know that one. Jets, Saints. I think you would prefer
Jets somehow winning on the road would be big.
Yeah, which is not likely.
And then that's
okay. Like that result is going to be generally okay. I think because you're going to get cushion for the Saints or cushion for the Jets, but be butted up next to the Saints if you beat the Chiefs or something, or if you beat the Saints, right? Mm-hmm. So I think then the other one, the Giants beating the Vikings would be huge. Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree with that. And then the Cardinals need to beat the Falcons. I think those last 2 are important. Cardinals over Falcons, so the birds over birds, and then the large human beings over the less large human beings.
Vikings are historically quite large, though. They were giants.
But they're not giants.
I mean, they were regarded as giants by many cultures.
And relatively to their area, but the Giants are bigger than the Vikings.
Do we know that?
Vikings are big,
how big are the
but
Giants?
They're bigger than Vikings.
How do we know this?
They're giants.
Historically, Vikings were referred to as giants.
But
the people of that area of the world are the largest people that we have as the human race.
Yeah, but giants are mythological giants. They're not real giants. The Vikings are real giants. The Giants are fake giants.
How do we
that we made up in our minds?
Where in the Giants guide do we see a picture of them? Like, do we know what they actually look like?
Why would you make up giants that were not bigger than anything else that's walked the earth that's human?
I just know the Giants as a team have been around for a long time, but I've never seen in any of their logos what they look like.
Sharman says It's the Giants. No, it's not at all. It's because they're that's not it. Ray School says Giants by default are 9 feet or taller. They're the Vikings.
Where's that coming from?
From Ray School, right there.
Right. Where's Ray School getting it?
From the internet. Come on.
Right. Okay. Of course. My bad.
And Curtis, so the Vikings weren't even the largest humans.
What are we talking about?
That you're going to have one red bird beat another red bird.
No, I know I'm saying, who does he think are the biggest humans?
I don't know. Where does the basketball players Bull and the Minute Bowl, where do they come from? What country are they?
He's got to be African, right? I don't
I'm trying to remember which. Ghana? No. I can't remember. I
just know that people of Scandinavian descent, I'm pretty sure their genes call for them to be the largest people. They tend to be the largest.
Minute Bowl is from the Sudan, South Sudan. Our Giants, we're just going to settle this. We're going to let Google's super accurate AI figure this out. Are Giants bigger than Vikings? Searching. Yes, Giants in Norse mythology are vastly bigger than historical Vikings. Vikings, for their time, were average sized around 5'7" to 5'9". So suck that.
Well,
you, Easton, are a Viking.
Well, first of all, no, I am not. Second
yes,
of all,
you are. You are.
I just looked up what race of people genetically are the largest, and the answer is specifically.
Are Vikings a race?
Specifically, they come from a certain area of the world, so they genetically are homogenous. Dutch people, but people generally from the Balkans, Montenegro, Bosnia, Croatia, Estonia, Latvia. Latvian women, on average, the tallest women in the world.
Yeah, but we're talking about football players. Giants are bigger than Vikings.
The Dinka people of South Sudan, is that where you said Bol is
yes,
from?
Yes, that's Manute Bol, yeah.
Are often cited as the tallest, but not the largest in mass. They're just very long people. Average male height around 182. The average male in South Sudan is 6 foot. Wow. Big fellas.
Mm-hmm. So I was right.
Anyways.
You ready for good news?
Dwarf women have beards. This is true.
Okay, Toff. Thanks, man. At least what we were talking about was relevant.
At this point, we're just talking about the size of people. Anyways, yeah, good news.
All right, let's do it. Chat, share it. Here we go. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. You can see them in Lebanon. Save money on that new ride. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Yes.
A good point by Ray School.
Uh-huh.
The Titans of mythology were not only larger than people, they were much larger than the gods themselves.
So, in general, this is AI. In general, Titans are depicted as larger and more powerful than the Giants. So.
I just think Giants is too broad. We don't know exactly what the Giants are. Well, I need more info on who the Gigantes
are. All right. In Greek mythology, Titans, the first generation of powerful deities, often depicted as divine colossal beings, but sometimes indistinguishable in size from the Olympians, though modern media makes them gigantic. Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Giants or gigantes, a separate later race, often depicted with with serpentine legs, who fought the Olympians. Okay. So there is a big rivalry, Titans and Giants. Didn't know that.
Well, they were definitely the Giants fought the Olympians. The Titans are the parents of the Olympians. They also hate the Olympians. The Olympians, but the Olympians being the gods, I'm assuming here.
Is this why?
Those who reside in Mount Olympus.
Light bulb.
They literally imprisoned the Titans in the underworld.
Is this why the Jets were formerly known as the New York Titans?
Fighting the Giants?
The New York Giants and the New York Titans?
Perhaps this is worth researching.
I kind of like that.
They should have stuck with it, frankly.
They stuck with that.
The Jets. Okay. What, you're an airplane? Cool.
Okay. You got any good news to show or to share?
Yeah, we got a lot of meaningful football this weekend. Started off with a bang last night, which was super exciting. I'm looking forward to tonight's SEC Slop Fest that nobody asked for. That's going to be a good time. I'll be watching that at a little Christmas shindig at the Runkey residence. So I will be seeing JT later today. Should be a real banger, real humdinger.
Lots of Red Bull. He got it on a discounted price.
Is that right?
Yes.
So Lucas is saying football doesn't count. I don't know. It's okay.
Football doesn't count for what? For good news?
Good news, apparently. Okay, non-football good news. Christmas is right around the corner.
Yep.
Looking forward to next week doing, less shows. Love you guys. Do love doing the show, but looking forward to having some family time.
Yeah, same. So, first Christmas, fun opportunity. And no show Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. No show Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or the day after.
Right School's really on it here, honestly. That we're only 3 weeks away from the sweet release of death. This Titans season will end, and we will all be released into the glorious off-season that I have been praying for a while now.
Because the off-season matters.
Can't lose.
Big off-season here.
Means we're one step closer to the Titans hiring Rex Ryan.
Good news if your team is in the college football playoff. I don't know who Garrett's team is in this context.
Unless you're Jeff, in which case.
Yeah, screw you. Well, Jeff's not playing this weekend. So he does say, good news. My friends, the New Zealand family, went to their first 2 NFL games this year. The Colts at Chiefs and Seahawks game last night. What? Wow. Dang.
Good polls. Good polls.
Just tell them that's not how it always happens.
Right. Take them to a Titans game. Take them to a Titans game next.
And then you have to
give them a taste of reality.
You have to bring me to the All Blacks game next. The New Zealand. The team?
Yeah. Have me there for a second. Yep. I'm familiar with what you're talking about. Yes. Yep.
The guys that do the haka?
I thought we were still talking about football. So
no, The New Zealand family.
I'm with you now. My initial response was, huh?
Oh, he's.
But yes, that is a great.
What I don't know is who's going to win that game. A&M versus Miami.
I feel like I know.
What I do know, I wish Tennessee allowed college athlete props because both quarterbacks have thrown an interception. That's happening. Carson Beck, absolutely. Big moment, Pick City. Marcel Reed, same thing.
Middle Tennessee legend Marcel Reed. You don't have faith in him to be perfect in this game?
No.
Okay.
But that game's me.
Former NBA hooper.
You know what sucks? And I get why this happened. That game at Kyle Field should be at night. I get why.
Yeah.
And they said they did it randomly. They didn't do it randomly. The Oregon game has to be late because it's in Oregon. It's late. It's time zones. We know that.
Right.
The Ole Miss game, I think, is perfectly because that's the perfect amount of Grove time. That would be the best day in the world.
Perfect amount of Grove time.
Yes, it is.
I hear you.
If it's a 7:00 kick in the Grove, that's too much Grove time.
Right. It's
perfect amount of Grove time.
The Surgeon General of the United States of America does not recommend that much Grove time.
No.
It's unhealthy.
Correct.
It's bad for you.
Correct. So what they should have done is they should have put, because Kyle Field needs nighttime, not 11 a.m. kickoff. What they should have done is flipped Bama, Oklahoma to 11 because they've already played at night this year, those two teams. They should have played.
Have you ever been to Kyle Field?
Yes.
I have been told from the friends of mine in media who are like former or current SEC beat writer folks who've like been to all the places. The most popular answer is like Kyle Field is the place, man. Nick Suss was talking to me yesterday or 2 days ago about how it's his favorite place to go.
It's more NFL like than other stadiums, like the stadium itself.
Interesting.
And Jeff, you're correct. And what I was going to get to is the reason why you've got the two blowouts at 3:00 on Saturday and 7 o'clock on Saturday is because the NFL's got 2 big time games happening on Saturday as well. Oh, and by the way, Montana State, FCS semifinal. That's going to be the best game of the weekend. How about that?
Oh, Montana State. Best game of the weekend.
Best, wow. most expensive ticket of the weekend. Montana
really?
State, FCS semifinal.
What, because the stadium has 400 seats? Why is
$4
it most expensive?
Pop.
Woo! Where is this being played?
Montana.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a neutral. I didn't know if it was like.
No, it's in Montana. Either Montana or Montana State. I think Montana State's hosting. Don't ask me where.
Imagine living in Montana.
This game
wanting to go to the local football game, and the ticket is $4,000. There aren't enough people out there to fill a stadium.
There are so many tax things that Montana does differently than everybody else because nobody worries about it. They don't have speed limits. They don't have taxes. They have $4,000 football tickets.
It's the Wild West out there.
It's Montana because
there's not much going on.
Y'all do whatever you want to
Just do whatever you want. Be safe. Have fun.
People are going to pay $4,000 a ticket to sit in 22-degree weather and watch their 2 teams. One they love more than anything. One they hate more than the team that they love. Play against each other for a chance to win a national championship.
God bless America.
Montana State, the best game of the weekend.
When is that game being played?
Side by side with Ole Miss Tulane in the first NFL game of the day.
So it'll be the best game of that window for sure.
Hell yeah, because that's the Eagles and Commanders. I think is the
surely this is being televised, right? Where can I watch this?
ABC.
Okay. Well, once Ole Miss is up 3 scores in the first quarter, I will be flipping over to Montana State.
Here's a good question. This is actually interesting. So I just
question for the chat at the 86-minute mark of today's show.
No, this is legit. I just told you that Montana State's on ABC at like 3 o'clock. Tulane Ole Miss is also at that same window on TNT. Which game will have higher ratings? ABC versus TNT.
I hear what you're saying. It'll still be TNT, but it will be shockingly close, probably.
Blowout,
especially when if Ole Miss, if that game goes the way we think it's going to go, and it's just a snoozer immediately. Yeah, man, it could.
Okay,
it could.
Eagles Commanders is an hour later, so they are staggered slightly. Thank God. So you have the Ole Miss Tulane at 2:30 Central, Montana State at 3, Eagles Commanders at 4.
What a day. Looking forward to it.
Buckle up.
Let's get out of here. I got stuff to write.
Yep, same. I got stuff to do. All right. See you guys later on. Hope you guys enjoyed the great football weekend that's approaching. So make sure you hit that like button on the way out the door. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Appreciate it.